And you talked actually about paying for interviews, and you referenced me at one point.
What did I say? Maybe I talk shit about you too.
I don't think you talk shit about
I'm always taking little funny digs at you. Whenever
really?
people talk shit, people say, because I do a podcast. What you do was an inspiration. You and Soft Wine Underbelly, I was like, I want to do what they do, but make it a podcast. This is more of an interview.
Yes.
Right? So whenever people are like, oh, John, just let your guests talk. I'm like, if you want a guy that just asks questions, like he's reading off, cue cards, I was like, go watch Vlad. That's fine. This is a little, I go back and forth. You know what I mean? It's just a difference.
Yeah. I think the conversation was about paying for interviews. And you say you do pay for some interviews. You do put guests in hotels.
Yeah.
And you said the problem that Vlad runs into is that he's such a household name. People assume he's got all this money and they want to be transactional with him.
Yeah. Do you have that problem?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. People have quoted me ridiculous prices. I don't know if you've noticed, me and Marlon Wayans were going back and forth at one point because he wanted $40,000 plus 30%. And
in what world does he think this kind of shit
I know.
makes sense?
I know. So, I was an asshole and I made it all public and then, it became a whole big thing, but whatever. But yeah, a lot of times you get these insane asks and you're like, nobody on earth is going to pay you this. Not just me. Like, nobody on earth will pay this. But if you don't believe me, go and check around.
Yeah, go ask around.
Go ask around. If you get it, great.
Next time that happens, give him my number.
Yeah.
Just so I can corroborate what you say, right? I had Michael Corleone Blanco. Can I throw this out?
Yeah, I interviewed
him. Yeah, nice guy. Seems like a cool guy. His story is what it is. It's his mom's story.
Yeah.
But he's
part of the story also.
Yeah. He wanted like 50 bands. And I'm like, my guy, how do you think I'm going to make a profit off of that?
Yeah.
Like, it's just not... It's not something that we're not dealing in these kind of economies of scale, right? It's not television.
Yeah, if it was Netflix, I paid Michael Corleone Blanco. It wasn't $50,000, but I paid him, and ultimately it was profitable.
Okay.
So, what I paid him was our business, but he didn't hit me with $50,000.
Right.
A lot of times I feel like, and this is was the whole thing with me and Marlon. Was when he hit me with $40,000 plus 30% of all the future revenue. When me and him started DMing about it, and then we eventually talked on the phone, I just said, I would much rather you just say that you don't fuck with me and you're just giving me a fuck you price, as opposed to giving me a price that's so ridiculous that I'll never be able to make that back.
Right.
Just be honest with me, because if I don't want to do something with someone, I will give a silly price, knowing they're not really going to go for it.
Right.
And if by some chance they do, okay, fine, I'll do it then. If someone asks me to do an interview and I tell them $50,000, that really means I don't want to do it.
Sure.
But, in terms of people that I really rock with, when you see me on No Jumper or Academics or The Breakfast Club or I'm trying to think, or Math Hoff or whatever else, no money ever changes hands between us.
We're promoting.
Yeah. It's like, promotion. All right, do my podcast. I'll do yours afterwards, at some point. It doesn't have to be one for one, but just know that we rock with each other and there's an actual mutual benefit for us doing each other's platform.
That's right. And the thing with the Wayans is they're from legacy media.
Yeah.
They're from a time, I don't think any of them do podcasts. So
no,
they're from a time where, you would get 40 Gs for like a TV spot.
Well, and that was the thing when the person that was negotiating on his behalf, which he said was the person, who was official, she said, well, this is based on how much he charges to do a show. And it's like, but it's not a show.
CBS doesn't just make money off television.
Yeah.
They sell, they're owned by Viacom. They sell fucking dishwashers and they own 50 different companies.
No, exactly. Like, look, if our interview was filmed live at, a big comedy club and people were paying at the door and they're eating chicken fingers and pizza and buying a 2-drink minimum and, doing meet and greets at the end and so forth. Yeah, 40,000. Yeah, no problem. Let's do it.
Yeah.
That actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that's actually a relatively doable number if we're doing all that.
Right.
But when we're sitting down and 90% of the money, 95% of the money is made from YouTube.
Right.
To get 40,000, you have to get millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of views. Mm-hmm. And, and he got a lot of views on Shannon Sharp,
right?
Which was billed as the response to Vlad. But then he goes and does Shaq's podcast and he gets about 400,000 or 500,000 views.
Yeah, right.
Which is what I expected to get.
Sure.
And that's not 40,000.
No.
So.
And I doubt he's getting paid to be on Shannon Sharp's podcast.
And I don't think that Shaq paid him either. I think he's doing it all free. And when we talked, he even admitted, because I said, listen, I know for a fact you doing Breakfast Club, you doing Drink Champs. I go on, I've been on these platforms.
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid.
Right.
And I'm sure you're not either. He goes, no, I'm not. But I have relationships with these guys, so, that's why I'm doing it for free. So I'm like, all right, so this is...
And here's the thing. And I'm glad that I'm talking to you because you are a self-made internet guy, just like I am a self-made internet guy. There's many podcasts now that are started by guys that got rich doing something else. You've had a few of them on their show. They pay dumb money sometimes to get guests on. That's another thing, right? Because it doesn't matter because they've started, some kind of MLM, multi-level marketing company, and say they got a podcast out of Florida and they're fucking annoying, right? Though that kind of podcast can just pay to get the best talent on. So I think it also sets an unrealistic bar for what is actually profitable for creators like us that actually we do this. This is how we make money.
Well, yeah, it has to be profitable. You have to, between the appearance fee, the production cost, the location, the camera people, the security, whatever else, the overhead.
Yeah.
If it doesn't make money, there's no point in doing it. I personally think some of these podcasts I think are drug fronts. Because
that could be that.
Some of the money that I've heard that they're paying, and then you see the interview come out and it's like 10,000 views, and I'm like, okay. This doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Like, this person got paid this much and it got 10,000 views, which is, I don't know, $1,000 maybe if you're lucky. Like, maybe $800. Like, so it's like, it's messed up the business. And people blame me on messing up the business because I think I was the first person to actually start paying, especially in my space.
Right.
Before it was taboo to pay for interviews.
Right.
This is journalism. You don't pay because it somehow affects what the person says. But my thing was like, this is a new business. This is not the news. This is not radio, traditional radio anymore. These interviews go up and they monetize. And sometimes when they're evergreen, they'll monetize for years and years. There is real money being made. I built a business that was also really focused on repeat guests, regular guests that come in every couple months to talk about current events and everything else like that. And yes, some of these people are my friends and, we do have a big platform and they understand that and I could pull favors and I can convince them to do it. But it's not like saying, something, fuck all that. I'll just pay you an agreed upon amount every time you come in.
Yeah.
You come in, it makes financial sense for you. Totally. It's profitable for me. Everybody wins. 2 months later, you'll be back with the same deal.
Yep. It's great.
And,
it's great.
The wheel keeps spinning.
It becomes like a segment on like
a television show. It becomes a segment. It's just like, when you see contributors on CNN, they get paid to come in, on a regular basis and everything else like that. But if you're coming in every so often, like I just did Pierce Morgan, I didn't get paid anything.
Right.
I've done it like 5 times. Right. I don't mind though. I mean, he has a big platform. He's respectable, a big name in media.
And you don't have to travel to him.
No,
there you go.
They send a van to my house.
Right, there you go.
I literally jump in this media van and I just do it that way.
You don't even put pants on. It's like you
are now.
I
don't even put pants on.
So, that's how I feel. Like, if people want to come promote their show on my platform, because a lot of these ex-kingpins, prisoners, whatever, they're trying to get their own shit. They're trying to sell books. They're trying to, get people over to their YouTube. So, I'll fly you out as a show of good faith because I respect you. A lot of people don't live in LA. I'll fly you out. I'll put you up for a couple nights. But the promotion is the payment, Yeah. But if somebody's got an amazing story, so my show's not built off repeat guests.
Yeah.
That's the tough part is I always have to keep upping myself.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
But that's why, we'll be pivoting soon. But if I got a guy with an unbelievable story that hasn't been on Vlad yet, I'm trying to get him first he deserves to be paid, because just flying him out and putting him up, flying him all the way across the country and putting him up in a hotel, he's still, he should be, there's value in what he's doing.
Yeah.
So just, it's kind of like on the strength, right?